All right. Welcome back to Tales of Wedding Rings Anime Review, episode number 12. We're here reviewing the 12th and final episode of season 1 of the show. Just basically the title. This episode adapts from the second half of chapter 29 and goes through pretty much the entirety of chapters 30, 31, and the first two pages of chapter 32. That's as far as they got to. So, we have where Sato arrived back in the palace. They basically they left in just 2 episodes back, and look around. And of course, Amber turns on her searchlight eye beams and turns a little thing on her chest. Now they cut the line out where she said she's not a dwarf, even though she technically is. Yeah, they cut the line out. I get the reason why they did, because she's the last service in the dwarf kingdom. So they basically just do that. So they go out of the former dwarf palace, and they see dead monsters, the dead abyss monsters, and you see soldiers from the Empire. And apparently there's battles going on, and they see the Abyss King. Now, in the translation I saw, they call him Abyss Lord. In the anime, they've heard of Abyss King. So they have all 5 rings there. Everyone gives their support. Sato gets a kiss from Hime, and then he goes to fight the Abyss King. And then we see in the anime, I think this happens in chapter 30, I believe it does, where the 5 rings, that as in all 5 fingers, merge into one ring. And as in chapter 82, that's Look at the Ring. It's basically a combination of all 5 powers, and basically he uses the power to slice the Abyss King, and you think he's beaten this point, but he's wounded. But he's not beaten just yet. And he tries to basically crush Sato with his power, and, well, and of course the voice in the rings, I'm wondering why in the world it didn't work. It didn't kill him per se, but it did wound him. So the girls come and try to help him. And then we see this weird sequence where it looks like it's like a flashback to, I don't know, like a flashback to like the opening chapter of the series, or at least something like that, where he wakes up and he basically is like having this dream sequence where he looks like he's married Hime in the real world, not in the actual fantasy world. And he wakes on top of the bird. Now, this they did switch around in the anime because they presented the whole sequence as a flashback, which is fine, where apparently Alabaster came back with a giant bird and swooped in and saved everybody. Now, this is shown in a flashback. In the manga, they put this right after he basically is about to go unconscious. Because it was all fine. And of course, there's a mysterious hood girl. Mars is perfectly fine. He's off one of the kingdoms they're going to go to. Oh, and the woman, turns out she's actually Nephridi's aunt, who's reunited with the man she loves, who is Alabaster, which is interesting, the fact that they did this. I mean, it's nice that the fact they brought this character back. I mean, she had a great story in the anime, and you might think, was this particularly made for the anime? No, this happened in the manga too. So then, of course, they need to fly back. Of course, they're going to go, when they get back to the place, they meet people. Of course, they can't go outside. Of course, the Empire is doing their best to keep outside of all the capitals of the country, so all the country's perfectly fine for the moment. And of course, Sato's a little girl that he's going to basically protect them. They do change the girl's hair. Their style was different in the manga. Here, it's like a bit more tighter. In the manga, it's more looser. Then they cut out a scene where he spends time in the bathroom, in basically the big bathtub. And of course, Hime joins him there. And then they cut to their room, basically gets next. So basically, they're going to go through bridal training. Before that, he has to spend the night with the 5 girls. And of course, I love her line. It's like, I thought this is a guy's biggest fantasy. Have a harem of beautiful women. Any guy basically would love that. And it's like, ooh, and we see all of their very revealing underwear. I'm watching the scene like, Sato, you lucky bastard. Because you got these 5 beautiful women who basically want him so badly. Yep, and doesn't go much at all. And then we cut to the very next day, where they're going to do bridal training. How to be proper wives, and of course, Getter, Safi, and Amber have already got the training. Year 2 have to go to training too. Nephrides and Hime. Then we also, with the last bit of the anime, is Sato and Hime going to a grave of Hime's parents who died years running the series, like well over 10 years. She also mentioned something that comes to play in just a few minutes. The fact she has a sister. Something she's never mentioned the whole series. Now, you might be curious. Did this happen in manga too? Yes, it did. Where no mention of this. I'm assuming she had parents. They don't say what happened to parents. They just died. And of course, she kind of introduces her parents to this person that since passed away, to her new husband. And then the girls show up, and of course, Alabasta informs Hime, your tutor's arrived. I remember you tutored. And who is the tutor? Her sister. And her name is... I want to get the correct name here. Marin Ravi Narakaki. Yeah, that's her name. And now they do have a slight wording change in the anime. Where, yeah, she does refer to Hime as big sister. That's from the book. Now, in the manga, she refers to Sato as brother. In the anime, she refers, oh, you're my brother-in-law. And that's kind of the episode ends, basically, that she's revealed to be a tutor. And that's how the season ends, too. Quite interesting note here, we end here like that. Oh, by the way, Mars does return here, basically to help us guidance. Now, at this point in time, you probably think, okay, they got the 32. They got basically partway into chapter. They got basically the first 2 pages in. Well, in a way, this anime has roughly about 51 chapters left to adapt for this series. Yep, 51. And it's quite something of the anime adapted only about 31 in just 12 episodes. This is not really all that surprising. Not really. I've seen anime like this before where they do about this much in the first season per se. Now, the only anime I've seen to do this has been very few. Like, I know this happened with the first season of One Punch Man, where it adapted about the same amount. And this also happened with Love Tyrant. Happened a few times per se, but it doesn't happen all the anime. Generally put, if it's based on manga and the season's 12 episodes, usually it's like roughly like 30 or 30 plus chapters in just 12 episodes. And I think the season did a great job with adapting the manga. I've enjoyed watching this series, and, well, can't wait for season 2, which, as of now, gotta wait 6 months before we actually have season 2. Yep, so, I'm going to end this here. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and do not hit that dislike button. Next, we have Comic Corner, and then I'm going to call it night. Okay, next video.